Hey everyone, it's Michael Taylor bringing you race 7 of the Sim Cup season. Today the series was at Sonoma for the Golden State 350, the first road course race of the season. So without further ado, let's get to how they started. Scott Unger on the pole with Reed Conway on the outside. Patrick Cobb Jr. and Drew Tabulov in row 2. Matthew Sparrows in last place and points driver Dylan Fisher in row 3. Joe Kowiak and Daniel Alderson in row 4, and Zach Dorian and Brennan Irons in row 5. Row 7, Tommy Morello and Carl Flint. Jason Severn and Davis McAfee are behind them. Jim Powers and points leader Kevin Richmond start in row 9, and Anthony Wick and Matt Sedici start in row 10. Then finally in row 11, Carson Fitzpatrick and Tim Bowen. So the race was 112 laps and a hot day. So let's get to it. So the pace car went in and immediately the 4 had an awful start. He fell back to 4th place before they even hit the start-finish line. The 38 car of Reed Conway jumped to the occasion and began his dominating performance, really. You can see on this next screenshot, lap 1 going through the S's, Drew Tabulov has established 2nd place as the rest of the field tries to battle for position. Lap 13, Kevin Richmond, our points leader, was all the way back in 17th, still trying to just survive, really. This is the only time he's really ever been this far back because he has 6 top 5s in 6 races. So maybe this is a time for all the cars to catch up to him in points and make this actually a exciting points finish to the season. Lap 25, the 38 car had a 4-second lead on Tabulov. He was pulling away at a few tenths of a second a lap, but his dominating performance just really it really showed what this rookie is about. On lap 30, he came into pit. Tabulov took the lead and led a little bit. Everyone pitted and it cycled through, and the 38 car remained the leader coming out of the pits. Lap 46, you can see the 2 car chasing down the 38 car, which is off behind the hill up there. This was a 6-second gap between the 2 leaders, and it was growing. Reed Conway had the car to beat today. Lap 53, our first retirement, KMI Racing's Jason Severn. He has a suspension issue, running in the back anyway, but he finally retires, and that is not good for the KMI Racing team. Lap 60, the yellow flag came out and the pace car racked all the cars up. I have no idea how this caution happened. There was no damage on any car, so I imagine 1 or 2 cars got together and just kind of spun off into the grass without hitting a wall. But it was enough to bring out the caution, and everyone pitted for their 2nd time on the day. The 61 car pitted a lap before this and was trapped a lap down, meaning Dorian's day was ultimately done. 47 to go. Last year's runner-up, Matthew Sparrows, retires. He blew up his gearbox, and you can see the 2 Irish lads racing guys pass him, so he was running in the back as it was. With 38 to go, or 32 to go, Conway was pulling away still. He had an 11-second lead. With 30 to go, though, the 21 and the 0 car get together in the hairpin. They spin off, do not hit the wall, but that is enough to bring out the caution. Everyone wanted to see this except Reed Conway, who had this race locked up. But since the pit cycle is only about 30 laps, this was a perfect time for the leaders to come in and top off and be able to run to the finish. So you see the top 6 cars pulling in. A lot of people who haven't had that much success this year. You see Unger and Conway and Dylan Fisher right there. So this would set up the last stretch under green to the finish. With 25 to go, the lapped 61 car comes into play and blocks a 2 and 38, enough for the 26 car to go underneath him and pass him for the lead. Anthony Wick just got lucky and was able to slide by the leaders and take the lead and pretty much steal it from Reed Conway. 9 to go, you can see Reed Conway closing in. The gap was about 2 seconds, but Conway was closing. Then a lap later, you can see the 61 car spin right in front of Anthony Wick, who went around it. The 61 car stopped in the middle of the track, blocking the 38 and the other cars right behind him, pretty much clinching the win for the 26 car. There was no caution, but the 61 car did have some damage, and he went to pit road. So you can see the 61 car going to the pits, and he slowed down the 71 and the 2 car enough for the 19 car of Dylan Fisher to pass both of them. The 2 car, I believe, he came back and passed the 19 car again, but both Taylor Motorsports, the drivers, were able to benefit from the 61 car just being an awful lapped car for the field. And on the last lap, you see Anthony Wick come down and take the checkered flag. This is his 4th win in Sim Cup, 5th if you count the All-Star race last year. And Anthony Wick wins his first race of the year. And this really helps my team because we were absolute shit in the team standings. But yeah, that is awesome for my team. Let's get to the race results. Anthony Wick, he really stole it. He ended up winning by 10 seconds. Daniel Alderson, he was right behind him, who also got slowed down by the lap 61 car. Patrick Cobb passed the 19, not the 2 car. That was a mix-up, but the 71 and 19 both clinched top 5s, which are really good for them in points. I think Daniel Alderson was the only one in the top 10 that finished in the top 6 rather. I think Drew Tabulov was like in the mid-teens, but he finished 6th. Ricky Brackett, Scott Unger, Brendan Irons has a decent finish. Carl Flint and Michael Adkins, and he finished almost 30 seconds back. Jim Powers, Carson Fitzpatrick, Matt Sedici, Davis McAfee, Tommy Morello, points leader Kevin Richmond finished 39 seconds back. And then the Irish Lads racing duo, they finished 18th and 19th. Just an absolutely piss-poor performance by the Irish Lads guys. Maybe they can turn it around next week. Zach Dorian, he finished 2 laps down in 20th place. And then the 2 retirements, Matthew Sparrows and Jason Severn. Driver standings. Kevin Richmond, he still leads, but by a tighter margin this time. Daniel Alderson, the rookie, is impressing everyone, and he's only 109 points behind the leader. Davis McAfee fell a point position. He's down to 3rd despite the 13th or maybe 12th place finish. Carl Flint spins and still gains ground on the leaders. He is 4th in points. Anthony Wick jumps a lot of cars and finished 5th in points on the week. Then there's a tight battle. Notice the gap between 5th and 11th. Zach Dorian, he fell. Ricky Brackett, he also got jumped by Anthony Wick. Michael Adkins, Jim Powers, Scott Unger, who is just hanging out in 10th place, it seems like, every week. And Joey Wakowiak, 181 points behind. And on the next page, Drew Tabulov and Patrick Cobb Jr., they have good runs. Matthew Sparrows and Jason Severn, they both blew up and retired in that last race. Carson Fitzpatrick, Tommy Morello, Matt Zedici, The dominating performance of Reed Conway was enough to gain some points and finish in 19th. Tim Bowen and Brendan Irons finished 20th and 21st in points this week. And then Dylan Fisher, he gained about 50 points on Kevin Richmond, but it's still not enough to be more than or to be less than 299 points behind the leader. So this was a good race, just based on the the entire field catching up to the 17 car, which is pretty much exactly what I wanted. I did not rig it, I hope you know, but this was an awesome week, particularly for my guys. Team standings, I'm still last, in case you're wondering. But Dumas Racing still leading with Big Stuff Racing, almost 100 points back. They are a real challenge to that top spot, but don't count out Burmy Brothers, the new guys. They gained a lot of points and jumped from 10th to 3rd in points. North Star, KMI, Fletcher Autosport, Team Harden, Revolution Motorsports, Creechin Racing, Irish Lads Racing, and then finally Taylor Motorsports, 239 points back. Funny story, I met up with Brian Fletcher of Fletcher Autosports at the Tampa Bay Rays game this weekend. So, yeah, I thought I'd mention that because that's one of the first times I've met up with him. But not the first time I met any of these guys. I'm living with Brent Harden of Team Harden Racing this semester up at school. But enough about me. Let's go to where to find us. Mock Sports. You can find the Twitter at mock_sports. Facebook, search us or subscribe, like, comment on this YouTube channel. Everything SimCup can be found at the simcupseries.blogspot.com. And yeah, that's it for us right now. This weekend coming up will be Pocono, the same weekend the fucking Sprint Cup Series is going to be at Pocono. So maybe we'll have a double feature then. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for watching to this point, and we'll see you next week.